everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. And we are coming at you live from the bunker. We got Uman acting as the moderator-in-chief behind the scenes, and we've got a great show here. I'm going to talk about topics. If you want, join each topic with comments down below, and Uman will get you up on the screen. If you want to just try and engage on a live on live. And if you're with the preparedmind.club or subscribestar.com, you're here live. X, POW, the Prepared Mind on X, aka at My Prepared Mind, has been stolen. They're hiding it. X is trying to get it back to us, but not very hard. In fact, the company that stole X from us claims to be a crypto recovery firm that I guess likes to steal websites. What a bunch of jackasses these fucking hackers are. In any event, folks, there's people trying to hack our world, hack our country, hack our lives. In a literal sense, too. So let's talk about what's happening. And again, join in as we go, or just drop your own topic down in the comments section. And for everyone who is on the preparedmind.club and subscribestar.com as a premium member, you are supporting our Monday through Friday efforts to get the facts out, wake people up, get them prepared. So let's hit it. We don't have to do anything anymore ever again. If you're a prepper, you can now stop, sell all your food, sell all your guns, hell, sell everything. Because the Attorney General, Bimbo Bondi, is on the job. That's right. She's unsealed. Wow, she has unseal power. Maybe she'll unseal the Jeffrey Epstein client list? No, don't hold your fucking breath. Instead, she's unsealed a terror plot of ISIS-linked terrorists. Yeah, they were involved in an attack on some bars in Michigan cities, 15 miles from Dearborn, Michigan. Yeah. Pam Bondi to the rescue. Oh, by the way, the planned attack was going to be on LGB pedophile bars. Wow. Well, that changes everything, doesn't it? Bimbo Bondi and Crash Patel, they can stop LGB pedophile attacks, but they can't stop school shootings, can they? Well, they were on our radar, but they just missed it. Sorry about that, dead kids. Well, they can't stop church shootings. Well, they were on our radar, but I guess they fell through the cracks and we missed them. Sorry, kids and Christians. They can't stop mall shootings. Well, we had them on our radar, but they just slipped through the cracks and they killed all those shoppers. And they can't stop assassination attempts on political figures and people like Trump. Sorry about that, Mr. Trump. We didn't know that we knew the guy and been communicating with him over months and allowed him to get up on a roof and take a couple pop shots at you. Sorry about that, Mr. Trump. But Bimbo Bondi and Crash Patel are there early, and they stop terror attacks, and they protect all of the queers. Yay, Bimbo. Yay, Crash, our heroes. Because we can't have that, can we? Oh, no. They're a protected class of people. That's right. That's right. Our greatest allies. Oh, wait. No, that's another group of people that always seem to get protection. Whistling past the graveyard on these topics, aren't they? Yeah, it's hit the fan, folks. They will not protect you, me, the voting, the fucking border, our money, our budget, our military. No, and no. They won't release who the real fucking criminals are. They won't press charges against real federal criminals guilty of extortion, child rape, bribery, money laundering, fraud. But they can catch those terrorists if they even breathe one word about going after the LGB pedophiles. That's right. We can't have our trannies being attacked. What a fucking joke. But wait, there's more. There's always more, folks, because shit has hit the fan. And this is a Super Tuesday. As far as I'm concerned, it's giving us a preview of next year's midterm congressional and senatorial elections. This is a Tuesday, a Super Tuesday in November. It's a voting day, folks, in many places in the country. And there's more bomb threats from Democrats at polling places today. You got it. You guessed it. You nailed it. I'm going to let you guess. How many bomb threats were received in New Jersey as people headed out to vote for governor? The number is 7, folks. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 7. 7 different bomb threats in New Jersey as people wanted to go vote. Multiple polling sites, the places where you vote, closed because of bomb threats. I wonder if those were Republican districts. I wonder if this was a left-wing Democrat communist terrorist piece of shit plot to keep Republicans from being able to vote. The answer is obviously that's a fucking big fat screaming yes. And also the Republican candidate in New Jersey, in the stuff I've seen, he's been ahead. And we, the Democrats, we can't let that happen. So release the bombers. No surprise there at all. No surprise. Let's see. Yeah. Who does the mass shootings? Democrats. Who does bomb threats? Democrats. Who does stabbings? Who pushes people onto train cars? Who assaults people? Who rapes and kidnaps girls? Democrats, and their useful terrorist buddies that they invited into the country. Now, the mayoral race in New York City. That's where that asshat Zoran Mandami is running for mayor of New York City. He wants to open his soup cooler. And he is pissed off everyone because he's blaming Trump for the bomb threats that are forcing polling closures in New Jersey. Now, isn't Mandami running for New York City mayor in the state of New York? But he wants to extend his reach and start thinking bigger than New York City. That should make you fucking think that these fucking clowns from other countries have bigger aspirations even than New York City. They want to take over the whole fucking country. This guy thinks he's going to fool Americans. He can fool Democrats because they fooled themselves. They fooled themselves so well they think that having a dick doesn't make you a man. That being born a woman doesn't matter. Anyone can be a woman. They're idiots. Democrats and Mandami are just amazing. Right? Democrats threaten their opponents. They wish death upon their opponents' children. They make bomb threats at airports. Yeah, that happened too today. And we're supposed to believe that Trump and the Republicans, according to Mamdani, are the ones responsible for making bomb threats at voting and polling places. Mamdani is a typical, folks, an atypical Marxist following the Marxist playbook, and he is a typical terrorist transplant. Am I overstepping my bounds? Have I made a claim that is unsubstantiated? The answer is fuck no. Because Zoran Zorch Buttitch Mandami has called for global intifada. They stopped using the word jihad and started using the word intifada. It's a holy war, a global holy war, intifada. The call to murder all non-Muslims. And folks, I feel bad for New York City, New Yorkers, because they're going to get what they ask for if they elect this fraud, this traitor, and terrorist. And I have another Mamdami update. You want to hear it? Oh, I know you do. Linda Sarsour. I have no idea who the hell she is. But she has said that CARE, which is a massive terrorist supporting organization, part of the Muslim Brotherhood bullshit, is funding Zoran Mamdani's campaign. That's exactly what they want and who they want, folks. They want a Manchurian terrorist mayor candidate to win. And these Democrats running for office around the country, they know no limits. They know no bounds, which is why you, me, and all of us need to be fully prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Have your plan, know your neighborhood, know your community, and know the 10 miles around you. And I strongly suggest you put together a group for self-defense purposes. You don't have to talk about strategy and avenues of approach and setting up defensive perimeters and roving patrols and recon teams. Don't get crazy. Just find out who the fuck in your neighborhood you can trust with more than $5, or in the event you're being attacked by these idiots. That's what they are, folks. They're terrorists and they're idiots. I've gotten some interesting information the last couple of days off the internet and through a personal connection and through a business connection, letting me know, watch your fucking back. Not me personally, just all of us. And what they wanted is the word spread to everybody. Shit is going to get weird. Shit is going to get weird. For the first time in a long time today, by the way, and just about an hour ago, Bitcoin dropped below $100,000 a Bitcoin. It's dropped now over 20% from its all-time high and heading down, down, down. Despite yesterday Trump telling the whole world publicly that America is going to lead the Bitcoin world, the cryptocurrency world. Why is he pushing something? And then today, his White House press secretary, Carolyn Leavitt, brought the same message out. Cryptos are strong. We fixed everything that Biden messed up. Why are they pushing cryptos so hard? Right? When something is good and everyone wants it and it's a fine idea, you don't have to sell it. You don't have to push it. It sells itself. Kind of like, cold beer or hot pussy. It just works on its own. In any event, folks, Uman says that currently Bitcoin is 99,171 and falling. Now, things like energy stocks, oil, uranium, natural gas are all very volatile, but they're actually real things that have real value, are real useful, and we all need them. So the volatility there, people have survived for decades, knowing it'll come back. Things that are real of monetary value, like gold and silver and treasury bonds, they all have real value and can be spent real, and people understand them. Bitcoin's a little mysterious, and people don't really understand it. And there's no one supporting it. I guess BlackRock, the world's largest hedge fund, Vanguard, and others are selling off their Bitcoin. It's going to get weird, folks. I think the reason Trump is doing that is they're not quite done trying to control the dollar and the gold market. And they're trying to keep people in Bitcoin and cryptos and keep them distracted, thinking they're going to become literally trillionaires. Yep, Michael Saylor, who was found guilty of fraud for basically conducting a pyramid investment scheme 20 years ago. Well, he came back and he started pushing Bitcoin. Same guy, same clown, same story, pushing a fucking pyramid scheme. He's saying that, yeah, Bitcoin's going to be bought up by billionaires, and it's not going to be measured in dollars or anything anymore. It's going to become its own thing. Trillionaires, folks. If it's that good, you don't have to sell it. In any event, folks, the repo banking market, the overnight bank lending, is no longer done between banks. It's now done between banks and the government's shelling out billions and billions every night, keeping the banking system afloat. I don't want to scream the sky is falling. I don't want to spend the whole fucking show on it. Just understand there's a big difference between things real and not. That is money. 1 ounce of silver. Gold is money. Food is money. Bullets ammunition, is money. When everything else has failed, things of real value are easy to understand. Now, let's get back into what's going on with all of the death threats out there. The candidate for Helena City Commission. What? We're not talking king of the world or president of the United States or senator or even governor, or no, a candidate for a city commission. There's no limit to death threats at the very top of the pyramid, all the way through candidates, through housing, through local, down to the city commission. A Democrat candidate for city commission left a threatening voicemail for a Republican. And here is the commie bitch's voicemail. You're going to love this. This is what this Democrat said. And the reason this is important is you don't have to be the president or a congressperson or a senator. You don't have to be a big shot. You can just be a little tiny podunk fucking Democrat at a local level, and you think that it's fine to just fucking threaten everyone and wish hell on them. So this is what she left. She says, "Hi, this is Haley McKnight. I'm a constituent in Helena, Montana. I just wanted to let you know that you are the most insufferable kind of coward and thief. You just stripped away healthcare for 17 million Americans." Actually, he didn't. 17 million illegal immigrants. Anyway, she says, "And I hope you're really proud of that. I hope that one day you get pancreatic cancer." What? This is tolerant, loving Democrat talk? And she continues, "And it spreads throughout your body so fast they can't even treat you for it. I hope you die on the street like a dog." This unhinged lunatic bitch continued, folks. "One day you're going to have to live to regret this. I hope that your children never forgive you. I hope that you are infertile. I hope that you manage to never get a boner ever again." I find this fascinating. A liberal woman attacking a man's fertility, attacking a man's sexuality. What a typical whore of a Democrat. These people are just fucking sick as fuck. But again, this is a local level Democrat wishing pain and destruction on a Republican. She says, "You are the worst piece of shit I have ever had the misfortune of looking at. God forbid that you ever meet me on the streets, because I will make you regret it. Fuck you. I hope you die." Wow, what a gem of a human being. I think that she deserves to spend a year in Israel or Gaza, a Muslim city of your choice. Hell, I'll even sponsor her for a trip to London as her Muslim city, if that suits her. Folks, this is how Democrats think. Once again, food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. That's what you need to be prepared. Once again, around you, 4, 5, or 6 of the people in your neighborhood, every 4, 5, or 6 out of 10 is a Democrat that thinks just like this bitch. Just like it. Unhinged. No reality. All hate. Wishing death. That's our little girl, Haley McKnight, a constituent in Helena, Montana. Yeah, Montana. Montana, you think of cows, big sky, Flathead Lake. You think of, I guess, fucking buffaloes and fishing. You think of guns and cowboys. You think of, oh yeah, guns, Republicans. No, these fucking liberals are everywhere. Everywhere. Well, thank you, Haley McKnight, for once again letting us know that there is no protection for anybody when it comes to lunatics that live around us. Woo! What do you think of that one, Mr. Uman? I guess you're going to be sending her a Christmas card this year, aren't you? Haley McKnight. So earlier, I mentioned, comments below. Earlier, I mentioned bomb threats at airports. Well, I'll bet you dollars to fucking donuts a commie terrorist is the one who made the bomb threat about a United flight going to Washington, D.C. And because of that bomb threat, they had to stop all flights. Yep, one little bomb threat, shutting down polling places. Another threat against Republicans. Another threat shuts down a fucking airport. But they can catch the terrorists that threaten LGBT pedophile trannies and their little bars. Well, when it comes to this bomb threat, the government knows you didn't pay taxes on that money you made at your yard sale. You got paid in cash. They know. They read every text, every email worldwide, but they don't know who made this bomb threat. And they won't tell us who really killed Charlie Kirk. It's all bullshit. The fucking government knows, or they're just making shit up. Are you prepared? Are you? Now, the last few days, there's been a lot of concern over the SNAP program, the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, food welfare. Who did the Democrats haul out? They hauled out a woman who's been on SNAP for like 30 years to get her complaints. Like 30 fucking years? And you couldn't get your act together and take care of yourself? Well, anyways, Truman says, I guess Trump untaco Tuesday'd and is now refusing to release the reserve funds to the SNAP program. Contingency reserve funds. So people had their fucking houses destroyed, towns ruined, literally ripped apart and just washed away in a flood in North Carolina, and they didn't have a single fucking dollar for anyone. But the government claims they have reserve or contingency funds for welfare queens. Well, I'll tell you what. Too bad. Trump, folks, has decided to untaco, and tacoed means Trump always chickens out. Well, he didn't. And now the really nasty names are going to come out, folks. The big threats are going to get really bad because President Trump has declared SNAP benefits are going to be maintained on hold until the, quote, radical left Democrats open the government. That's Trump's quote. Until the radical left Democrats open the government. Now, what are they holding on for? Not SNAP. That's already paid for. Or rather, it's already in the budget. No, what the Democrats want is $1.5 trillion for illegals, for their health care, for their transgender operations, for their welfare checks, for their credit cards, for their phones, for their clothes, for their homes. So the folks, they're going to start calling Trump and you and me nasty names. The real threats, the death threats are going to start, and probably attempted murders. So my recommendation to you is keep it clean. Keep it ready. Don't jump the gun, but be as ready as you can. At some point, folks, the fucking rope is going to snap. Right now, people can be like, "Oh, it's just a little. It's just SNAP. It's just some welfare money." Well, fuck, we have people just destroying stores. We have people looting the shit out of stores. We have people threatening to beat people up, stealing their groceries in the parking lot, and even threatening to eat people. Cannibalism. That, my friends, is not law and order. It's not civilized. But that's what Democrats are doing. That's what they're threatening, and that's what they're doing. And Trump has now said, no SNAP. Sorry, fuck you. The judges are being told, go fuck yourselves. Good. Good indeed. Good indeed. Oh, boy, I tell you. Yes, here we go. I got a little bit of an update right here. Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey. Her top aide just got busted trafficking 46 pounds of cocaine. Not 46 ounces or milligrams, 46 fucking pounds of cocaine into a state office building. He's been fired. He's pleaded not guilty, and he's being held without bail. Wow. dealing fucking cocaine out of the state. Way to go, Democrats. Way to go. That's who they are, folks. Hey, if they're not trying to kill us, they're trying to, kill everyone with drugs. Any event, understand the judges are going to throw a fit. They told Trump, okay, so some low-level federal judge who is not elected by the people tells the president of the United States, the head administrator, the chief executive officer of the nation, the president, Trump, what to do. And he told them, low-level, ridiculous, unelected judges, pound sand. Beautiful. Great. Love it. Absolutely love it. Let's have some fun, Mr. Uman. Let's mix it up a little bit. Let's mix it up. What do we want to discuss? What's out there in the crowd? We got Diving Frog, and he says, John, it's starting to seem like Charlie Kirk isn't that squeaky clean, but I can't tell because of all the bullshit. It wouldn't surprise me if he was still alive. We just stepped into the conspiracy shit pile with that one. There is a contingent of conspiracy theorists that say Charlie Kirk is alive. But it looked too real, so it's fake. The way it was done was fake. That it was not treated as a crime scene. True. So how could it be a real assassination murder? Because the police did not show up, cordoned everything off. People were allowed to run around. They took down and removed cameras, video surveillance equipment, memory cards and sticks, SD cards. It's a crime scene. Apparently, there was no proper autopsy or autopsy at all, depending on who you listen to. Also, there's no coroner's report, reportedly, unless that's now been created and put out there. A lot of people believe he didn't die and that this was a political stunt. He's faking his death. It's turned state evidence. He's going to live on Mars with Elon Musk. Who knows? But when it comes to Erica Kirk, there's a lot of questions there. That would be Charlie Kirk's wife. She seemed to grieve in an unusual way. That upset a lot of people. They seemed more than eager or too eager to get somebody put into Charlie Kirk's chair in his absence because of his untimely death. And so Erica Kirk is somehow linked to intelligence agencies, the CIA, Mossad, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And she's related or involved in sex trafficking out of Eastern Europe. That she is a compadre of Trump because of his activities in the beauty contest movement, which is Erica Kirk is a part of. There's a lot of conspiracy theories on this. But what has come out and has come out more clearly is Charlie Kirk's refusal to allow Israel to dictate to him what he was and was not going to talk about, and that he wasn't going to have his own opinion about what was going on in Gaza and Palestine. And they tried making Candace Owens into the black female version of Alex Jones, an unbelievable charlatan, loudmouth, lying piece of crap is what they're trying to make her look like. And it turns out she is, well, far more credible than they had ever hoped that she would be. She's produced videos of Charlie Kirk and her and a great relationship, et cetera, and that Charlie Kirk really did not have good things to say about Israel, even though Israel and Bibi Netanyahu himself tried claiming that they were all chummy and good friends and everything was hunky-dory and Charlie was the greatest ally of Israel and blah, blah, blah. It's all bullshit. So this whole thing about Charlie Kirk being squeaky clean and pro-Israel, and it's not, and then all the family relationships, and it's nothing is what it seems. Uman says the creators are still getting a lot of clicks for beating the Charlie horse to death. Social media content creators can get those clicks by, well, dragging the corpse of Charlie Kirk back out into the open and looking for those clicks. What's nice is, since I don't really get any money for clicks, it doesn't do me a bit of fucking good. I'll just talk about what interests me, which is what I've done all along anyways. And it used to be that, well, just talking about what's going on would get clicks, would get subscribers, would interest people. But if you've got an interest in what I have to say, Google, YouTube, X, they'll tell you about something completely unrelated that you don't want to hear about. And that's how they hide us. Anyways, yeah, that's Charlie's got a few more clicks left in him, man. Don't worry, man. They're gonna keep dragging out and holding him up like a piñata, and we'll beat the stuffing out of that story some more. I don't know what to think anymore. The government lies. That's what I do know. Government lies. And it's going to continue to lie because that's what government does. Government's not to be trusted. Yeah, Republicans, definitely not to be trusted. But what's worse is Democrats. Because they don't lie. They just come out and show us exactly who the fuck they are. I mean, they'll lie if they're questioned about it, but independent journalists, witnesses, they take pictures, they do interviews, they show these Democrats for exactly who they are. And Jay Jones, we'll talk about who he is again, in case you can't remember. He tried to kick a dog today at a Virginia polling place. Does everyone remember who Jay Jones is? He's the radical Democrat commie attorney general candidate for Virginia. He is the asshat extraordinaire. How is anyone voting for this fucking communist? This is the guy who wants his political opponent shot, and his political opponent's kids shot and dying in his arms. So he's going to kick at dogs. He's going to piss on decency, and he probably shoves gerbils in his ass trying for the Richard Gere Award 2025. These are the Democrats, folks. They're not hiding who they are. Everyone was outraged and shocked because, well, Anthony Fauci was using beagles to test insects, laying eggs on their face, having them eaten alive by parasites. But don't worry, Fauci made sure the dogs stayed alive by keeping them pumped full of antibiotics. But they couldn't protect themselves. They couldn't get away. They were just being eaten alive. That's what Democrats do to animals. Where's PETA? Has anyone heard of PETA lately? The People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals? Why isn't PETA all over little Jay Jones for trying to kick a dog? Well, it's because they don't really give a fuck. The same way, folks, the same way the National Organization for Women, the militant feminazis, just disappeared from the political scene, gone. When it comes to women, women's rights, protecting girls, where the fuck are they? Exactly. I tell you, wishing for his political opponents to be shot. Jay Jones, Attorney General for Virginia. Teachers Union, who are you going to back? Jay Jones. Hey, Hakeem Jeffries, who are you going to back? Jay Jones. You bet. They're all good with it, folks. These are the people who want to be in the highest positions of authority and power in this country to legislate, to prosecute or persecute, if you're a Republican, law enforcement, executive branches of government, running bureaucracies. That's who they want. These scumbag anti-American pieces of shit. Now, for me, as a typical traditional American that loves freedom, apple pie, and good beer, and we're considered the bad, the old-fashioned, the not worthy, the useless eaters. We cling to our Bibles and guns. We are the deplorables. But look who acts just deplorable. And I'm not talking about www.cafefe.com, right? My coffee. That's us, the deplorables. But the actual deplorables are these people in power. All right, Mr. Uman, let's have some more fun coming from the audience on this Super Tuesday. And it's our good buddy C, who says, I heard the Republicans refuse to get rid of the filibuster, even though Trump wants them to. Trump directed them, said, let's kill the filibuster, change it. Let's just start shoving shit literally down the Democrats' throats, just shoving it in there. Oh, you want some more shit, Democrats? There you go. You want to play political games? Here you are, motherfucker. Right? Because that's what Democrats do to Republicans. That's what Democrats do to us. Oh, you have a Second Amendment? Fuck you. We're going to make you eat shit and take your Second Amendment. Oh, you want to talk about, well, countries, policies that you don't like? You want to talk about vaccinations and colds? You want to talk about shots? You want to talk about climate change? You want to talk about voter fraud? Fuck you. We're going to silence you with censorship. We're going to remove your channel. We're going to debank you. We're going to steal your incomes. That's what they fucking do. Trump says, hey, why don't we end this fucking filibuster and do stuff? Nope. Crickets. Trump looks to Bimbo Bondi and Kash Patel and says, arrest those people. Prosecute them for treason, for lying, for conspiracy, etc. And they do shit. I don't know if it's because Trump is fucking inept or if he just says the words and they don't listen or care anyway because they know he's not genuine. I don't know. I'm not in DC. I don't see that level of it. What I do see is we get platitudes and promises, and then we get pissed down our backs and we're told it's raining and it's good for us. Yeah, I really wish they would get rid of this filibuster. But there is something really good going on in this country. The Democrats are panicking. Now, fear does two things to people. It paralyzes them or it causes them to lash out violently. What are we seeing the Democrats doing? They're lashing out violently, literally stabbing people, beating people, robbing people, making bomb threats, using guns to kill people. That means they're panicking. You don't panic when you're in charge. You don't panic when you're confident. You panic when you're fearful. We're in an election at this very moment. The Democrats are extremely fearful. We need to continue to push Washington, D.C. for same-day voting, paper ballots, and voter ID required. That is why the Democrats are so fearful right now, today, and lately. It'll probably taper off again, but the fear is going to be back next November because that is a big election. That is a congressional and senatorial election, and these states, they're pushing for, right, voter fraud suppression. In other words, stop the cheat. Now, the United States federal government has told the state of New Jersey that they are going to investigate every single claim of voter fraud, voter suppression, and vote theft if they hear about it. I want them to do that. I want them to actually go down there and catch them and then arrest them. Put them on TV. Show everyone this is what a fucking cheating piece of shit communist craphead is. Because it'll be Democrats that cheat to try and hold on to power in the state of New Jersey. And it's not that the Republican is the world's greatest Republican, the world's greatest candidate, but he is certainly better than any of these fucking Democrats who just come right out and say, we're going to take your money, we're going to take your houses, we're going to fuck your business up, we're going to bring in a bunch of illegals, we're going to shit on you, we're going to destroy your lives, we're going to fucking convert your children into fruitcakes, cut off their genitals, and then tell you you're a piece of shit, but you still have to pay for it because taxes. Wow. All right. Thank you, C, very much. And we got Robin G, who says, John, my daughter who was furloughed, she's a federal employee. She was furloughed for 3 days, then called back because she was essential. Essential. She has now been informed to keep working without pay. Why not call everyone back? No sitting at home and getting paid later. Well, you bring up a couple of different topics here, Robin. I don't think federal workers should be paid back. Nope. Unless you are working. So if your daughter is essential, and I have a family member who works for the federal government and is essential as essential can get, and he's working, I think, without pay, but told he's going to get paid back. I think all the other ones, if you're non-essential, and you're not at work, the government shuts down, you don't get paid. Because in the private sector, let's just say in Orlando, Florida, I'm doing a job on a government project and they shut the project down. They say, we got to shut down here. Go home for 4 or 5 weeks, John. We'll call you later. Do I expect to get paid by a company for sitting on my ass at home for 5 weeks? No. So why do federal employees have that special privilege of, well, just taking off several weeks and fucking around and then expecting to get paid? Now, here's the deal. A lot of these federal workers, if they're in Washington, D.C., they have 2, sometimes 3 jobs. They don't even go to work to do their federal job. They just collect the fucking paycheck. And they work at their other jobs getting paychecks. Remember that whole work from home thing the Democrats and bureaucrats were doing in Washington? Yeah. They're still playing that fucking game. Now, you asked the question. She's been informed to keep working without pay. I would tell the government, go fuck yourselves. Or wait, how about releasing some of that backup, super secret, hidden contingency money? Well, I guess that's how the government works, right? Unless they have a budget in place, they can't pay anyone. Well, all the more pressure, right? You're going to vote for Democrats? You're going to vote for a system that wants to screw the country and steal from us? Well, then this is what we get. For me personally, I haven't missed a fucking hour of work. I haven't lost a single benefit. I haven't had my rights impeded by the federal government lately, but I'm sure they'll be back and forth. But you asked the question, why not call everyone back? Well, because they're non-essential. Every private company on the entire Social Security payroll, right? Everyone who pays taxes. If you're not essential, what do companies do to you? Yeah, they let you go. They're like, you know what? We don't need you anymore. Your position is redundant. Your position is unnecessary. You are non-productive. You are non-essential. You're fired. Why is it that the government has millions and millions of jobs that are non-essential, non-productive, pointless? Who-Man says, I haven't noticed anything different since the government shut down. No. Mikey G says, no work, no pay. Of course. Right? Yeah, I haven't noticed anything different since the government shut down. Nope. I've noticed a lot less Coast Guard aircraft taking off and flying around the state of Florida. But that's been happening for like 2 years. For some reason, they just don't do it quite as much. But other than that, but that started years ago. I haven't noticed any difference. I haven't seen an increase in crime. Nope, I have not. I haven't seen an increase in crime. Have you? Nope. Mr. Uman, let us continue, shall we? Who's up? Who's got something to say out there? What do we got? It is C again. It says, I can't figure out whether to stay in the stock market or get the fuck out. Okay. Here we go. We're going to breach the stock market thing. It is a shit show in the stock market. It hasn't crashed, folks. The Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ have not crashed. They're being propped up nicely. But it seems like everyone I know or have heard of is looking at their portfolio going, what the fuck is going on? Why is the stock market up, yet everything I own is down? How the fuck is that possible? You know, some people are in more volatile sections than others. But I have a big problem here. My problem with the stock market right now, my problem with Federal Reserve policy, with Treasury policy, monetary policy, fiscal policy, is Trump won't shut the fuck up. This is an indictment of Trump, who loves to tinker with and fuck with things. And as a consequence, in my opinion, investors, whether individuals like you see, or Uman or me or anyone else, whether they're just investing their little nest egg or they've got a family fund, all the way up to big corporations, they don't know where to put their fucking money. They don't know where to invest because one week it's this and now there's tariffs. Oh, shit. The next week it's we got to put our money over here. And then, well, you know, that's changed. We're going to tariff China. No, China's our friend. Right? You can't invest intelligently unless you can rely on a path. Right? So I think that's a big problem is people are just yanking their fucking money out of the market in certain sectors because, like you, they're like, I don't know whether to stay or sell and get the fuck out. I guess if you're going to sell and get the fuck out, you should have done it 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago. Right before this fuckery started again. Well, those that I know have just fastened their seatbelts. They're hanging on and they're expecting some changes. Now, we could get a stock market crash. It could. So nothing I say is investment advice. Nothing I say is anything more than entertainment. But if you want to entertain a thought, no matter what the stock market does, no matter what the bond market does, this does not change 1 ounce. The market crashes, it's still an ounce. The question is, though, is what is it valued at? What can I buy with it? Well, silver is money, and silver has been money for thousands of years. And when the market crashes, if you own something real, it still exists. If you own ammunition, it still exists. If you own food, you can eat it. Yeah. I don't think we're going to get a stock market crash. I think we could, but I don't think we will. And I'll tell you why. I think that Trump and Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary, and the Federal Reserve Board, which means Chief Goon Powell, I think they're going to do everything they can to keep the market from crashing. Even if it means printing trillions of dollars. That is very inflationary. It's bad for the value of your dollar, your spending and purchasing power with your paycheck and income. But I don't think they want to let it crash because, well, that's how they measure their success. The stock market. I think they're trying to keep the valuation of gold and silver down relative to the value of a dollar. Right? And the dollar compared to other currencies is the prettiest pig in the pig pen. It's the nicest mayor at the slaughterhouse, but they're all still going to slaughter. They're all going and becoming less useful, like the purchasing power of the dollar. When I was a kid, a quarter would get you a candy bar. Now you're going to pay over $2 for a candy bar. When I was a kid, my dad told me that he paid a nickel, not for a candy bar, but for a fucking bag of candy. Things change. The dollar goes down, but only because of the value of the monetary unit, the dollar, is based on how many of them are out there and how much, shall we say, valuable commodities are available for sale. If everyone has $1 billion, a fucking loaf of bread is going to cost $1 billion because we'll all be competing for that one loaf of bread, whether you've got $1, a million, or $1 billion of them. I don't think the market's going to crash, but it could. It should, by all rights, crash. The real estate market should, by all rights, crash. The auto loan market, the auto loans are just crash. Commercial real estate, crash. But it's going to be propped up. They cannot have that. They do not want a 1929 moment. They don't want a 2008 moment. They don't want a dot-com bubble, even though we are now in the biggest bubble. And the bubble is called the everything bubble. It is an SHTF bubble of epic proportions. And as discussed, past, and even during the president's first term, which was 2017 to 2021, Trump was trying to slowly bring everything down nice and smooth, and land that turd of an airplane. Well, here we are, right? They're trying to prevent the plane from crashing as it is coming down for a landing. All right, Mr. Uman, let us continue, shall we? We've got Mikey G says, Gil Bates. That's code for Bill Gates. Gil Bates says climate change is no longer a problem. What the fuck is going on? Well, they failed. The propaganda failed. We didn't believe this shit because every year we're told in 5 years the ice patches are going to melt. The poles are going to melt in 5 years, in 10 years. In 5 years, in 10 years, the temperature is going to go up 20 degrees and we're all going to die. But climate change is no longer a problem, right, Bill Gates? Because they failed the propaganda war and science. Trust the science. Climatologists are fucking liars. I think 99% of climatologists will tell you we have a climate crisis. We have climate change. Because, well, that's what they get paid to say. Just like people that support the genocide in Israel, they support the genocide anywhere, the genocide in Ukraine, they do it because of money. Why is it that no one in mainstream media on the news will criticize pharmaceutical companies and their fucking lies about the Jim Jones juice? Well, because those pharmaceutical companies pay for their commercial airtime on all of their networks, whether it's national or local television. They get money. And so they're not going to bite the hand that feeds them because they have no fucking integrity, because they're sellouts. There you go. Yeah, Bill Gates, he's got other things to sell. By the way, he created the drug with his, shall we say, his money and financing, the Boveer. Drug called Boveer, Bovear, I believe. And they were supposed to give it to cows, and it makes them fart less. Well, guess what's happening to the cows in England, or the cows in Europe? I think in Amsterdam or the Netherlands, it's the worst because it's mandated to use it. Cows are getting sick. Cows are laying down. Cows are fucking dying. So they're torturing animals by giving them diseases. Thanks, Bill Gates. You're awesome, you fucking lunatic. Bill Gates also loves Jeffrey Epstein and went to his island several times, and they were good buddies. But all they ever talked about was philanthropy. I guess if you think sharing the sex-trafficked underage girls with one another is philanthropy, I guess that's what he's trying to hint at. Oh, I tell you. Anyways, Mikey, thank you very much. The climate change is a hoax. The only people that I think were successful in any way at climate change were the people spraying shit in the skies, chemtrails, trying to diffuse sunlight and fuck up our world. But I think they even failed at that. It was just temporary. It's spatial. It's geographically isolated. And it sucked. But yeah, done. I think someone like Bill Gates or George Soros, who's responsible for death, pain, suffering, loss, theft, I think that they ought to be subject to a very, very, very long life. I don't want Bill Gates to die. I don't want George Soros to die. Hell, I didn't want Dick Cheney to die, but he just died yesterday. The reason is I want him to live a very long, 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 long life. I want him to live 200, 300, 400 years. Alone, full of hate, having to look at themselves in a mirror all day long and realize no one likes them. No one's coming to help them. No one's going to save them. They can just sit there and think about what a piece of shit they are for hundreds of years. That's what I would like for them. All right, Mr. Uman, we got a few minutes left. We got a few questions. And we've got Uman, well, who's that? Abbott. Governor Hot Wheels Abbott of Texas trolled the leftards today by vowing to impose a 100% tariff on anyone moving from New York City to Texas after Election Day. I find that fascinating. He has no such authority or power, but he did troll the shit out of them, which is great. I think it's funny that people in New York, they're like, I guess it's time to leave. We don't want you. Nobody does. Not Texas, not Georgia, not the Carolinas, not Louisiana or Florida, not Texas or Mississippi. No, not Kentucky or Tennessee. No one wants you guys. You ruin your fucking city, you ruin your state, and we don't want you to come and try and ruin ours. Any event, that was pretty good stuff. Now, politicians everywhere ultimately kill the golden goose. Right? That old story about you killed the golden goose. The golden goose lays golden eggs. All you have to do is be in a position to catch the golden eggs. But these Democrats and politicians, they fight over it. They strangle it to death, and no one gets golden eggs, right? After they break everything, then they backpedal and try everything else. Well, a typical politician, folks, only does the right thing after doing the wrong thing fails, and they start to lose power. This is what's happening in America, but it's happening more so in Europe because they fucked themselves up even more than we have here. The German chancellor, that means like the president, the German Chancellor Merz, is under pressure from the German Freedom Party. We call it the AfD, Alternative for Deutschland. That's their freedom party. And Chancellor Merz is reacting and saying, hey, mass migration. We need to repatriate these foreigners. These asylum seekers from Syria and other shitty countries, we need to get rid of them. Actually, folks, no, he doesn't want to send them home. But he's going to try and appease voters because the Alternative for Deutschland, even though they've assassinated, and I mean that literally, they have literally killed political opponents in Germany from the Alternative for Deutschland party. He doesn't want to send these scumbag, thieving, raping, murderous pieces of shit from Syria and other countries. He doesn't want to send them home, but he's going to try to appease the voters of Germany. And here's the lesson to remember. Do you remember when the Prime Minister of England played the game of Brexit for over 5 years? We're going to Brexit. We're going to leave the European Union. We promise. Vote for me and we'll leave. And vote for me and we'll leave. It took them a shit pile a long time. For over 5 years, they fooled voters until the politicians lost all their power. And eventually, England Brexited the European Union. Interestingly, the people of England fell asleep. Are you going to fall asleep? The voters of England went to sleep, and when they woke up next, they realized that Keir Starmer became the prime minister. And he has let in tens of thousands of child rapists and murderers. Nice work. We're going to, right? They don't come in peace. They come to destroy. Folks, get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Get yourself ready. It's shaping up to be a hell of a fucking winter. Hell of a winter. Diving Friday says, John, don't forget the aliens. They are coming Friday. Well, I gotta go get my tinfoil hat. I'll see you guys later. Semper Fi, and well, chance favors the prepared mind.